Why do we get goosebumps? Right now, you have a muscle attached to every single hair on your body. Tiny, invisible, and most of the time completely useless. But every so often, all of them fire at once. A cold breeze, a terrifying scene, a piece of music that hits you just right, and suddenly, your skin erupts. Thousands of little bumps, hairs standing on end, a shiver rolling down your spine. Here's the strange part. That reaction was designed for an animal that doesn't exist anymore. A furrier version of you. You are running software written for a body you no longer have. Charles Darwin was obsessed with this. He noticed that goosebumps happen completely involuntarily. You can't make them appear on command, no matter how hard you try. And he realized they were a ghost, a leftover reflex from our animal ancestors, still firing in a creature that lost its fur 1,000,000 years ago. So why do you still get them? Why does your body raise a fur coat you don't have? Here's the thing nobody tells you. Goosebumps are not about your skin at all. There is a muscle reflex, and understanding what those muscles were for explains everything from why you shiver in the cold to why a song can make you cry. Let's start with the machinery. Attached to the base of every hair follicle is a microscopic muscle called the erector pili. When it contracts, it yanks the hair upright and pushes the skin around it into a little bump. Do that across your whole body at once, and you get that classic wave of goosebumps. But the muscle doesn't fire on its own. It's controlled by the oldest, most automatic part of your nervous system. The same system that handles your heartbeat and your fight or flight response, which is a huge clue. Goosebumps aren't a skin thing. They're a survival thing, and they were built to do two completely different jobs. The first job is temperature. When you get cold, those muscles contract and pull your hairs upright. In a furry animal, that fluffs the coat, trapping a thick layer of warm air against the skin, like a bird puffing up in winter. It's insulation, instant and automatic. The problem is, this system evolved for an animal covered in fur. You've got, at best, a bit of fuzz. So when you get cold today, your body dutifully raises your almost non-existent hairs, traps almost no air, and does almost nothing. You're running the heating routine on hardware that's been stripped for parts. The second job is far more interesting. It's fear. Watch a cat meet a dog. Its fur stands straight up, doubling its apparent size. A frightened animal makes itself look bigger and more dangerous than it really is. A bluff written directly into the body. That is the exact same reflex. When you're scared, your nervous system fires the erector pili to puff you up, except you have no fur to puff. So the threat display fizzles into a shiver and a patch of bumps. So goosebumps are a two-in-one survival tool, warmth and intimidation, running on a body that can no longer use either one properly. A beautiful, useless ghost. Case closed then. Goosebumps are just a pointless evolutionary leftover, except that's where it gets strange. Because if goosebumps are purely a dead reflex for cold and fear, why do you get them from a song? This is the part that shouldn't happen. There's no cold, there's no predator. You are safe on your couch, and a piece of music, or a scene in a film, or a memory sends that same primal wave across your skin. Scientists have a specific name for it: frisson. Aesthetic chills, and it reveals something profound about what goosebumps really are. They're not triggered by cold or danger specifically. They're triggered by intense emotional arousal, a sudden spike in your nervous system. Your body can't fully tell the difference between the jolt of a predator and the jolt of a breathtaking key change. Both flood you with the same chemistry and both pull the same ancient trigger. That surge releases dopamine, the same reward chemical tied to food and love, which is why the chills from a perfect song feel good, even though the exact same physical mechanism in a dark alley would mean terror. Same bumps, opposite meaning. The only difference is the story your brain is telling about why, and here's a genuinely surprising twist. Not everyone gets musical chills. Studies suggest only around half to two-thirds of people do, and the ones who do tend to have more of a specific kind of wiring in their brain. Stronger connections between the regions that process sound and the regions that process emotion and reward. If music regularly gives you goosebumps, your brain is quite literally built to feel it more deeply. It's not in your head, it's in your wiring. And once you know this, you start seeing it everywhere. That violent, teeth-chattering shiver when you have a fever, same reflex. Your brain has deliberately cranked up your target temperature to cook a virus, then decides your body is suddenly too cold, and slams the goosebump and shiver system into overdrive to heat you up. The fever isn't making you cold, your own thermostat is, and that strange little shudder some people get right after they pee. Scientists think that's the nervous system briefly overreacting to a sudden drop in blood pressure, tripping the exact same circuit by accident. Goosebumps in a warm bathroom for absolutely no reason. Once you know what the trigger is, you find it hiding in the most ordinary moments of your day. Now for the part that ties it all together. And it's the reason your body kept this useless reflex around at all. In 2016, scientists went looking for what those erector pili muscles connect to under the skin, and they found something nobody expected. The very same nerve and muscle system that raises your hair is also physically wired to the stem cells that grow new hair. When you're cold and the muscle contracts over the long term, it actually signals those stem cells to regenerate the fur. The goosebump reflex isn't just about the moment, it's part of the machinery that maintains a coat over a lifetime, which means the reflex was never really useless. In our ancestors, it was one elegant system. Sense the cold, raise the fur now, and grow more fur for later. We just kept the trigger long after we lost the coat. So, why do we get goosebumps? Pull it together. 1. It's an ancient muscle reflex designed to raise fur you no longer have. 2. It runs on your survival system, built for 2 jobs, trapping heat when you're cold and making you look bigger when you're afraid. 3. It fires on any intense surge of emotion, which is why a song can trigger the exact same response as a threat and flood you with reward instead of fear. Which brings us back to Darwin staring at his own arm, watching hairs rise that he could not command. He understood he was looking at his own history written into his skin. Every time you get goosebumps, you are feeling a body that no longer exists. A furry, wary ancestor reaching across 1,000,000 years to raise a coat that isn't there anymore. You can't summon it. You can't stop it. It just arrives, uninvited, in the cold, in the dark, in the swell of a song. A small, involuntary reminder that under all of this, you are still an animal. If this made those little bumps on your arm a bit more fascinating, hit subscribe. It's the whole reason videos like this can keep happening. And drop a comment with a why question that's been living in your head. The best ones become the next video. And be honest, what's the one song that always gives you chills? Don't read this. Go watch it.